Hey, Jeff Ritter from Essex Parts here. Today we are looking at pad tension kits and the various bridge options for the calipers in our AP Racing by Essex Competition Brake Kits. So first we're going to take a look at the Pro5000R Radi-CALs. So out of the box from AP Racing, the Pro5000Rs come with this aluminum bridge piece. And what this does is it bolts into the top of the caliper. On the fronts, it uses 2 hex head bolts, and on the rear calipers, it uses 1. But very simple design. It just hangs in there and essentially is keeping the pad from coming out of the top of the caliper. It serves no other function than that. What we found was that some of our customers were experiencing some rattling noises whenever they would drive with this standard bridge piece. And what does that sound like? So we have a setup here. It's got a full install like you would have on a car on the road, and it sounds like this when you go over a washboard concrete pavement. And all that is the pad moving vertically and making contact with the backing plate and the little bridge piece. And so what we did was develop a similar bridge, except we used a spring. So we have a billet aluminum block with a stainless steel spring over the top, and it drapes down over the sides. And when installed, it puts a tiny bit of tension on the backing plate of the pad. And so when you go over, that's the difference. So there's essentially almost no vertical movement of the pads. Why do I keep saying vertical movement? Because there is going to be still a little bit of longitudinal movement of the pads. And when you see that, or hear that, I should say, is whenever you go into forward to reverse or vice versa, when you're switching between forward and reverse. So what will happen is the pad will shift from one end of the caliper to the other, and when the backing plate makes contact against the abutment plate, you'll hear it give a little clunk. So the next question is, why do these calipers do that in the first place? Your OEM caliper doesn't do that. Well, that's because your OEM caliper was designed to take one pad shape that was installed from the factory, and that's really the primary concern. With a competition or racing caliper like this caliper is designed to take a very wide range of pads from a bunch of different manufacturers. And what you'll see, if you were to take all the pads that would fit into this caliper from all the different manufacturers, you're going to see a fairly surprising range of sizes on the backing plate. They're going to vary by a couple millimeters. Why the manufacturers do that? One is, on a racing caliper, they're going to be operated in a wide range of temperatures. They get extremely hot and everything expands and grows. So they're going to make that backing plate a size that will have some room for growth and still fit properly inside the caliper without binding up when the caliper is squeezed. So something like a sintered metal pad is going to grow considerably more than a standard OE style organic pad. So wide range of pad types, materials from different manufacturers. So the caliper has to have enough space in there for those pads to fit inside of the discs and or outside the discs, I should say, inside of the pistons. Another reason is that a racing caliper typically accommodates several different disc widths. So typically it'd be something like 30 to 36 millimeters in disc width are appropriate for a given caliper, or 32 to 38, or something in that range. So again, you're going to have a little more space in the caliper to accommodate pads of different size. In addition to our standard bridge piece and our pad tension kit, on the CP9668 and 9669, the wider version of the Pro5000R Radi-CALs, they come with a spring clip in the box. So this will be in every box, and there's no extra charge for that. This was designed for endurance racing. So the whole concept here is that you are able to quickly change the pads in a pit stop scenario without any tools. So you just squeeze this spring, lift, and then you can remove the pads. So it's just a way to change the pads without any tools. And again, that comes standard with every 9668 or 9669 caliper. Next up, we're going to look at the 8350 caliper. So the 8350 caliper is another staple of our competition kit program. This one has a more simplistic design. So it's just a simple one bolt across the top. and we were able to just do a stamped metal pad or metal retainer for the pads. It's just a little spring. And so that fits in the caliper like that and puts a little bit of tension on the top of the pad backing plate and eliminates that vertical fluttering of the pad. So we have some bridge options. When you purchase one of our kits at checkout, you'll see the option for a pad tension kit as an optional accessory add-on. That's what we're talking about. So hope that was helpful in explaining how the pad tension kits function and our various bridge options.